Okay, so in just a moment, not yet, we will be adding and subtracting fractions that do not have common denominators this time. So in order to add and subtract fractions that don't have common denominators, we need to figure out how to come up with the common denominator when we have monomials in the denominator and polynomials. Okay, so this is going to help us when we have fractions that don't have the same denominator when we add or subtract. So let's get going. So our steps. If any factor repeats in one of the denominators, we write the factor once and raise it to an exponent. So if in under one denominator, if you get two of the same factor, just write it as 1 and the exponent will be how many times it repeats. So this one, like x minus 1 repeated 2 times, so we wrote it as an exponent of 2. Okay, so looking at example 3. Okay, I can't really factor it first of all because monomials you can't factor. Okay, so I don't really have a repeated factor in any of my denominators, so that step kind of doesn't apply. So step 1 done. Okay, step 2, if we're looking at example 3. So again, guys, all we're doing is focusing on how to come up with a common denominator. We're not trying to add or subtract these, so we're just visualizing that we had two fractions that were adding and subtracting, and we're trying to get a common denominator. So that's what we're practicing. So we're only looking at the denominators right now. I could care less about what's in the numerator. Okay, so let's keep going. Next it says to list all different factors in each denominator. So we're going to grab one of every single different kind of thing I see in each denominator. Okay? So like I see a 2 here. I don't see a 2 here, so I'm going to list a 2. And guys, everything that we write in the common denominator is going to be multiplied together. Okay? So then, let's see here. Let's do all the numbers first. Numbers first, then variables. So I don't have any more numbers in here, so now let's jump over here. The only number I see is 3, and both of them don't share 3. That means I need one, so I'm going to grab 3. Okay, so again, we're grabbing one of every single thing from each denominator. That's the first step. Okay, if we see we have x's in each denominator, so I know I'm going to be grabbing an x eventually, and I have y's in both denominators. So I'm going to eventually grab a y. So if you see here, we grabbed one of every different kind of thing I can see in my denominators. I grabbed the 2, the x, the y, and the 3. Those are all the different things shared between my denominators. Okay, so we did that. Now, this is the important thing, you guys. If each denominator shares a common factor, so if any of the denominators have any of these in common, what we do, we're going to use the factor with the highest exponent. Okay, so let's look here. Okay, so my x, I only have 1, 2. It doesn't share 2 in each denominator, so the 2's done. Okay, I don't share a 3 in each denominator, so that one's done. But I do have an x in each denominator, and it says if they share any common factors, use the factor with the highest exponent. So I'm going to pick the one with the highest exponent, which is x to the 5th. Okay, and same with the y's, you guys. They both share a y, so the one with the highest exponent is 4. So this is going to be y to the 4th. So again, if you ever see any variables, or in this case, any factors in this one that are the same, always pick the one with the highest exponent. Very important, very important. Guys, and the last step is to multiply all this fun stuff together. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then I can't really multiply those together because they're not alike. So it's just 6, x to the 5th, y to the 4th. And guess what, you guys? This would be my common denominator. How exciting, right? Sorry, guys. It's supposed to exit out.